Welcome into the DNVR Avalanche Podcast, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Use code DNVR when we sign up for a new account. Let's do some winner shots. Avs take the dub 6-4 over Seattle, 2-1 in the series. And we appreciate all of y'all giving us over 100 likes before we even go live.
Yay.
That's awesome. Cheers.
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 Dubs.
All right. A lot to get to in this 60-second rundown, but I'm going to do my best. See what I can do.
Okay, you might need a minute 30.
Maybe. First period, I actually didn't think started as bad as the first two, but it ended up not being good. The Avs, for the third straight time, give up the first goal of the game on another tough turnover. But it's not really a turnover. Anyway, not the point. Got to go move on. The Avs do get this goal back relatively quickly, and not just in any old fashion. It's shorthanded from JT Compher. Nathan MacKinnon is Nathan MacKinnon at the end of the first to give the Avs a 2-1 lead. Cale Makar is Cale Makar in the second to give the Avs a 3-1 lead. The Avs then play 20 terrible seconds of hockey, and the game is 3-3 at the end of the second period. And the Avs just came out and dominated the third. They took care of business, did what they needed to do. Nathan MacKinnon, Mikko Rantanen. It's 5-3. Mikko gets the empty netter to make it 6-3. Oh, wow. And then Seattle gets a goal that doesn't matter, 6-4 final. I made it in a minute. There was no detail.
That's okay. We'll go into it.
That's what the rest of the show is for. Exactly.
It turns out the other 58 minutes.
Go back to the start. I kind of espoused my feelings on it. Where are you at with this start? How rough was it for them to go down 1-0 again versus, to me, it felt like there was a little more jump, at least for them.
I don't want to tell people how to feel about this team, but I did feel like any reactions considering the first period flat were just not my impression of it at all. I did think the Avs looked significantly better than the prior first periods we've seen, and truthfully, still, even though they allow the first goal against, seemed to be the team that had the slight edge in the shots battle, possession battle. It was close, though. Like, Seattle stayed competitive throughout all of this, including the first period, but I still didn't think the Avs looked like the worst team or a flat team by any stretch.
I would agree, and I would say that this was also the first goal of the series by Seattle that I felt they created.
Yeah.
That they generated out of good quality hockey that they finish, and that the genesis of it is not just a brutal Avalanche mistake.
It's not a disaster, but it is Erod failing to make a decision at the blue line.
Right, and there's still, I mean, we're talking 15 seconds-ish before that goal gets
it's not
created.
immediately resulting in the goal. That's fair.
That's how hockey gets played, though. Like, you make mistakes in the neutral zone and it leads to a
Things
possession.
happen, yeah.
But that was the first goal that they had scored in the series that I thought they created
generated by them.
They did this. It's not reliant on a major Avalanche blunder. They create the shot, they get the tip, they score. That's it. Like, and I completely agree with you, because up to that point, I felt like it had been a fine first period. Like, they were skating around. I mean, they were getting outshot, but I thought that they had jump. They were engaged. It was you were one shift into the game, and you're like, this already looks so much better than it had the previous two games, where you were like, just watching them get hemmed in the zone, and they weren't doing anything. And that first goal, it to me, I just wasn't deflated or worried about it, because up to that point, it felt like they'd been in the game. And then you do go on a PK, and you are like, oh, this could get that's where you start to get worried, and then you get lucky. I mean, you get lucky.
Dude just falls over.
Yeah, but you capitalize. That's the thing. They got lucky getting handed opportunities for the first goals of the game, and you certainly look at game one, where Eli Tolvanen just skates into the middle of the ice and gets a puck.
Yeah.
It's a centering feed from Devon Taves. They got lucky and they capitalized. The Avs got lucky on theirs and capitalized. That's it. That's just it.
capitalizing is very important in the playoffs, it turns out.
Turns out.
And it'll become a theme in what we discussed throughout the course of this game, but their response to allowing the first goal against, there's enough time in this first period to not only get the shorthanded goal, but then the goal late on the 4-on-4, where MacKinnon, that's just pure skill. He watches that play unfold, beats Dunn, beats Larson,
Beats
just
Grubauer.
a skater and a goaltender at that point.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that is how a team with playoff experience responds to a goal against early in the first period.
It's going to be something we talk about a lot tonight.
Definitely.
Just that difference in experience, that difference in maturity, and understanding how to work your way through a postseason game. You know, you talk when the Avs didn't have it, it was a really annoying talking point of like, they're still good. But now that they have tons of it, it's going to be one of those things where sometimes when you go up against a team that doesn't have it, you see a game like this.
And before we jump into that, do just blanket want to give credit to the PK. I know they technically gave up a power play goal tonight.
It's a fucking joke.
A nothing goal that had no impact on the outcome of the hockey game. Would it matter? The Avs PK was nails.
Yeah, what was it? Over 6 up to that point? Which
Yeah, I think
was
over
a
6,
little because one of those was 10 seconds long.
Sure.
So it was a little like
But
that
you
number
take
was a
it where you
touch
can get it,
deceiving.
yeah.
But I say a touch, but oh no, it's 0 for 5, and it didn't generate anything remotely dangerous. About the only thing that you look at the Avs tonight and say you really don't like, 1 19-second sequence and then just general discipline. Way too many penalties. We could
Absolutely.
definitely pick some nits on, I would say, 3 of those calls. The Girard interference, the too many men, and then whatever that was with MacKinnon in the end where he's just big mad about something and gets called for something.
A pretty nothing cross
Yeah.
check. And you know, the other side of it, too, is Cale Makar gets away with a blatant trip and then gets a stick broken across his shoulder.
He was smarting after that, too.
And yeah, he was definitely feeling it. And neither of those get called. I don't think either way a team necessarily benefited from the reffing tonight, so it's not like that.
I agree. That's not our conversation.
Yeah.
I think the penalty kill is a great part of the conversation because in periods of hockey where they have not looked good 5-on-5 through parts of Game 1 and Game 2, the penalty kill has remained a bright spot for this team, and it's interesting that they've had cohesion there through Game 1 and 2, whereas that was kind of the biggest concern coming out of them. To have it continue to be a strength of theirs coming into Game 3 is really important for this group, especially when they are missing players like Helm, Nichushkin. It becomes really important.
And AJ said it. Look, they didn't create an amazing chance on that penalty kill to get the goal, get the game tied, rather. But
you do give Makar intercepts this pass,
right? They create a 2-on-2 up the ice,
and one of the things that makes Cale Makar, and not any other defenseman on earth, is that on the PK, he's been out there for 30 seconds. He'll take a pass and he'll look up the ice and he'll go, "We'll see how this goes."
Yeah,
and it doesn't look like anything amazing. He just skates up the ice. And it's like, all right, we'll see how this goes. And he gets into the zone. He gets it in the neutral zone. You get a blown tire. And he sees this. It opens it up. He gets the puck to Compher. Compher receives it, does everything he can, and then makes a nice move. One of the nice advantages of knowing Philip Grubauer is knowing that if you go to that backhand, he can't stop it. He's going to either starfish or he's going to poke check, and either way, it's going to be a goal.
Why not both?
And I forgot to credit MacKinnon at the very start of this, but he wins the board battle against Matty Beniers to get the puck up to Makar to create this sequence. And that's another theme of this game is where they weren't hard enough on the forecheck, or in this case, just in their own end in winning battles, is a big reason why they regained a lot more possession in this game.
So very quickly, since Chad has been asking about it since puck drop, from our own Jesse Montano saying that Val Nichushkin officially was not with the team tonight because of personal reasons.
Oh, that's concerning.
So that's all we got for you.
All I know is that the last time we heard about personal reasons, Daniil Zhiravalov disappeared into the night.
Yeah.
That was a weird one because he wasn't around the team for a few days leading up to it.
That's true.
I saw Val at the facility at Optional Skate before they flew out to Seattle. So I'll be curious to see.
would fully expect it does not end the same with Val defecting back to the KHL.
No, I
imagine
agree.
not.
But
It,
it does make you a little uncomfortable when a guy is just, hey, you never know what's up. So
you always worry about family.
always, that's like the number one thing.
Significant others. Just hope everybody's okay,
Yeah.
healthy.
All right, chat. Are you happy now? Okay, can we stop talking about it? We good?
They really,
wanted me to know.
it's all right.
Anyway, moving on.
No, I can see your nuts. This is a little bit of a leap here.
I mean, if Nathan MacKinnon is going to keep scoring goals like he did at the end of the first period, I might have to go full Joe Thornton if Nathan MacKinnon scores 4 goals in a playoff game. That's all I'm saying.
It would be pretty funny if we had like a grip of like truck nuts that we kept on hand in case of a 4-goal performance, and just open up the show and they're just all over the desk. That would be acceptably
What are the
funny.
YouTube terms and conditions?
I don't think they say anything about truck nuts, so I think we're okay.
Yeah, exactly.
But honestly, it felt like you hadn't gotten the best out of Nathan MacKinnon and Mikko Rantanen, and we'll get to Mikko in a little bit.
You knew it was coming though.
Yeah.
Nathan MacKinnon played so well for most of game 2 that it was pretty obvious where this was headed.
Yep.
You were still waiting for Mikko Rantanen to kind of show up and get it going, but you saw it from Cale Makar, and then you knew eventually with MacKinnon it was happening, and it did. And it came with a 4-on-4.
Yep.
Cale Makar ends a power play after 10 seconds with a trip, goes into the box. It's 4-on-4 again, and you're like, oh my God, this almost ended a disaster. Last game when we had this situation at the end of a period in a 4-on-4, the other way this time as just good awareness. Vince Dunn, I don't know why he's jumping into the play as aggressively as he is, but
I'm glad he did.
thank you.
Based off of what happened on this play, and I genuinely have no idea, how is the ice in Seattle? Do we know? Maybe a question best asked for Jesse when he gets back.
Yeah.
But I'd be really curious to see how the ice is at that arena. Just not sure myself.
I mean,
Anyway.
got lit on fire during that sequence. Homeboy took off up the ice and was absolutely by himself.
I don't want to get ahead of myself too much here, but that play shows, oh, right, Nathan MacKinnon's insanely fast. And his second goal will show you, oh, right, Nathan MacKinnon is insanely strong.
Yeah.
He just built different. All right?
We'll definitely get there. But I mean, it's great to see him finish on a breakaway where I think he's kind of started to figure out.
Yeah.
Everybody else had figured out he likes to go top glove because we've seen his last couple of breakaways.
Yeah. The glove is up here waiting for it.
He had the one in San Jose in overtime.
Yep.
Where he cuts to the middle of the ice, hard to the middle, and then goes low blocker.
Yeah, goes the opposite side.
Yeah, and then you have the 2-on-1 in Nashville, where he just picked a spot again, low blocker, and then this one does not need to go up over the glove, where every goalie is like,
Yeah. Why go
like waiting for
over
it.
glove when I can go around glove?
Yeah, exactly.
All right? Math simple.
Math simple.
It's Megan, the Avs have Gabe Landeskog in the room. They have that part of his captaincy there. Who is it on the ice that's that leader? Is it Nathan MacKinnon by example? Is it a Cale Makar that gets in there? Who would you put that on the most?
Well, because they lead differently, I think it's a couple people. I think it's MacKinnon through what he does on the ice. I think that players around him know they need to be trying at least as hard effort-wise as Nathan MacKinnon is. They might not have the skill upside to be as talented as Nathan MacKinnon, but they need to be putting him in the same amount of effort because they'll probably hear about it later if they don't. Whereas the more vocal player on the ice in terms of leadership is probably going to be a combination of guys. I'm assuming the veteran types players, Cogliano when he's there, Rantanen, though I think has emerged as this type of player too, and Makar is up there more quietly, but I'm sure still contributing because we see the emotional side of him come out sometimes. Even in game 2 we saw it a little bit. So I hate to take a cop-out answer of it's a combination of players, but without Landeskog, I genuinely think it is.
I mean, I think even with Landeskog, there's a certain level of that probably.
True.
But yeah, it's it's funny because we talk about this as like, oh, the leaders or whatever, but at the end of the day, it's the entire team rising up as one, essentially. What?
Lars.
You're about it? You're about it with Lars?
I asked him about how vocal he is on the ice, and I didn't even finish the question. He was excited to talk about how he talks with his line mates, and it's nothing crazy. It's not even, he said it's actually very affirming what he's saying. Sometimes it is also to talk about different ways to approach things defensively, but he is a very vocal leader, and that's a good call out.
So politically correct for him to say, well, I wouldn't say what I do to Alex Newhook is berate him.
I love that he made a point of
affirming.
saying it's very affirming.
Exactly.
Pictures of him on the ice like...
I affirm that there is room for improvement when he makes these reads, which we saw later.
Hey, I will take it from anywhere.
Yeah, but I do think Lars is like that's one of, like, you look at how things are working out for Colorado with Lars, how things are working out for Dallas with Max Domi,
yeah.
where personality-wise, one guy has been a seamless fit into the room, and the other guy is a bit of a known quantity as not everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah.
And you see how they're fitting in with their current teams, especially so much conversation about the deadline and blah, 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 blah. But you do look at Eller in that fashion, and it's like you can see some of the wisdom behind that decision.
Definitely.
In a situation like this where you are down in a series, you are chasing a little bit, you are down in a game again, you are chasing the game again. You want to see a certain level of maturity from the team in its process. And Lars, I think, has been a great example of that as one of their consistent guys, games 1 through 3, just kind of doing his thing.
Yeah.
I didn't actually mean to make this all about Lars, but
No,
here
it's
we are.
It's worth shouting out.
And look, for the first period, Avs end up 2-1 after the thing. I think it's hard to be too upset with that. They put themselves in the driver's seat. We'll get to what happened in the second period after I give you guys a pick of the week. Officially, there are no sweeps in the first round of the NHL playoffs this year.
cool.
A neat stat. Means a lot of my predictions are very wrong.
I know at least one of mine is wrong.
So maybe the plan is to fade me on this, but I'm taking the Avs in 5.
Okay.
That's my pick of the week.
All right. I mean, that was my series pick, and I felt after how game 2 turned,
Yeah.
that was still...
Don't remember your predictions. That sounds about right.
I think it was 3 5s and a... You were the one that said sweep.
I was the sweep.
Called us all cowards because we all picked a gentleman's sweep in 5.
To be fair, I called myself a coward on the one Megan picked a sweep and I didn't. So at
Yeah.
least I'm consistent.
Hilarious.
If you asked me to name my predictions besides the Avs one, I don't know that I could.
I could name 2 of them.
So you're
Toronto
25%.
Toronto at 6 and the Isles at 6.
I had
that's
Avs in
right.
6. So
Okay.
Oh, did you?
All right.
We'll
All right.
see.
There you go. So maybe fade me and take Megan with the Avs in 6 with the way my my predictions have been going so far.
Yeah, no
But
kidding, huh?
Either way, whatever bets you're making, do it over at DraftKings Sportsbook. When you bet $5 with a new account and the DNVR code, you get $150 at free bets. You don't even have to win the bet, and you still get the money. So get over there, use the DNVR code. You can download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today. You must be 21 or older, Colorado only. Other terms, restrictions, and conditions apply. See the show notes down below for details. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700, and it's all void in Ohio. Also brought to you by the fantastic people over at Breckenridge Brewery, the official beer of DNVR. You can get yours 8 different kinds on tap tonight. It was flowing good at the DNVR bar tonight. I'll put it to you that way.
You know, we asked you guys to show up for tonight, Saturday, no excuses, good weather, road game, et cetera,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera. You guys did an amazing job.
Yep.
Place was popping tonight. And I know it's a Monday, but love to see you guys run that
Yeah.
back here in 2 nights.
Why not? It's going to be another fun night, one
I
way or
agree.
another.
Yeah.
So come on down, have yourself some Breck Brew. If you're out of town, if you can't make it, you can still find Breck Brew at your local liquor store using the Breck Beer Locator online at breckbrew.com. Second period of the DNVR Avalanche Podcast, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. What else can you say about the start of the second period but Cale Makar? Kid's going to get our king of the game as well. Because he can just do that. He's just different. The Avs win a face-off, and the puck's in the back of Seattle's net because Cale Makar just decides, yeah, I can fire a clap bomb 92 miles an hour past Philip Grubauer. Where does this rate on the vintage Cale scale? Was this a solid 9? An 11? Just a cool 7?
I think for me, this is an 8.
Okay.
An 8 for Cale Makar. I like it.
That was definitely intentional.
The scale's just all 8s, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. It's not 1 through 10. It's just 8s. No, I think. I mean, I do think this was the kind of performance that you say you get from Cale Makar. How many other defensemen give this to you?
Erik Karlsson in the regular season?
Yeah, well, and the difference being, where does it start with him? It starts with the play that he makes on a PK.
You're not
Erik
wrong.
Karlsson's not doing that shit.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that Erik Karlsson could spell PK.
He's no Jonathan Marchessault, so let's calm down here.
Yeah, I thought about that today when he slid into the boards.
Yeah.
I don't know why the two were connected. They just were for me.
I know Alex Newhook is going to come up negatively in this show too, so I want to give him credit for winning that face-off clean and making it possible for
Gets an
Cale
assist
Makar
off of that.
Yeah,
to
I don't think there's anything.
great timing.
I actually don't think it was that negative a night for Newhook either.
I really don't
Not
either.
as bad as people are making it.
No.
It's the tough first round conversation where people hold first round picks to such a high standard, as they should. They're not wrong for that, but it is Newhook's second full NHL season. There's a lot of learning.
I think an off day show we could really have like a really interesting, in depth Alex Newhook conversation about player that he is, role that he's in,
Right.
and why there's still so much hope for him in the future. This talk of him as a bust is absolutely ludicrous.
Rough.
Nonsense.
It's such an interesting, he's such an interesting guy on their roster in terms of, the expectations are certainly higher. The job that he's in, it's whatever, like however you're going to feel. But, but one of the big weaknesses in his game is faceoffs, as it is with every young center.
And it was tonight too, but in that moment, he got it done when he needed to.
Yeah, and he gets it done, and Cale Makar makes that thing count.
Yep.
We probably don't even know Alex Newhook wins that faceoff if it doesn't end in a goal.
It ends as a stat
just
tracked in a book
exactly.
somewhere.
It becomes part of the box score, and just boom. We don't even think about it. I will say that the face-off thing has been really, really, really interesting
In this series.
It's mattered a
Yes.
lot.
They've had, I think this is their third.
The Avs third, yeah.
The Avs third, and then the
They
power
gave-
play goal at the end of the game
Yeah,
tonight
yeah.
Yes.
came off of one face-off as well. So it's we've talked about face-offs matter when they matter, and we've seen in this series they have mattered,
Definitely.
And the Avs have gotten the better of it.
and it has been an area of strength for the Avalanche.
Yep.
Sneaky, one of the things that, of course, I don't talk about because I say as a team stat it's meaningless. But Seattle coming into this series, not good at this.
Yep. It's
Kind of fun to watch two teams who are bad at this one very
see
specific
which
thing.
one can figure it out.
Yeah,
And it could be
exactly.
less bad.
It's I always say that it's the kids with pool noodles.
Is there a little bit of that experience for Colorado coming into play there? I mean, you see things like Mikko in game 2 just standing like a statue on some of those draws that he doesn't like. I don't know. You not putting too much gamesmanship into it?
No, not really.
Okay. All right. We'll get to that conversation. I really don't think the Avs played as poorly as giving up 4 goals tonight.
No, dude, no. It's interesting because I don't think Georgiev was bad,
Yep.
and I don't think that the Avs played defensively poorly enough to justify a 4 spot against you.
Yeah.
I don't think Seattle defensively played poorly enough to justify a 6 spot against them.
Also fair.
I do think Grubauer earned the 5 against. I just, again, did not think he was very good. Way too many extended possessions. Way too many extra opportunities. He's not tracking pucks. I mean, Matt Nieto nearly beats him cleanly, and he goes looking behind him like, oh my God, like you're no confidence in him. I guess we're already having this conversation. Would you go back to him in Game 4? Knowing that like he played really, really well for you the first couple of games, numbers wise. I mean, we can feel how we feel about whatever, but
I think I would. I think I would go back to him.
Sorry, what was the question going back to Georgiev?
yeah, Grubauer.
Grubauer.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you're Seattle, if you're Dave Hackstall here, Georgiev 100%. That guy rules.
No doubt, yeah.
And then the first point of the question is like Nieto, like on the second line. Is that what we're asking? It's not.
No.
Grubauer, I could see them going back to. Honestly, I think he has had 2 good first games and an okay-ish third. So
It's
I agree. I just wondered if it was maybe iffy enough that if there isn't a ton of separation between Grubauer and Jones, if Jones is really healthy.
it's a good question because Hackstall, just in my very brief glimpse of him, doesn't seem very reactionary. Like he would be impulsive to make that decision based on that alone. But his plan could have been all along to have Jones go for Game 4. So if that was kind of the plan all along, I'd believe it. But I wouldn't believe it would be the decision he makes because of how Grubauer played Game 3.
Other factor would be it's been a while since Jones has played.
Yeah.
'Cause he was hurt at the end of the year.
throw him in cold.
Yeah, so it's been a while, and it would be. I wonder if they drop 5 more on Grubauer in Game 4,
If he
maybe a
gets
Game
bopped
5 where you're
again,
like,
it's a different story.
like who
there,
cares?
yeah.
Like, what a difference is this? Like, is it gonna? Oh no, is Martin Jones gonna give up 5? Well, this is already happening. So, might be a game early on this conversation.
On the flip side, the big concern for Colorado is a concern we've seen a ton of from them this year. They play, in this case, 19 seconds of horrendous hockey.
Yeah,
It's more like 30 seconds in the lead up to the first goal.
yeah.
And it's 3-3 in the blink of an eye in the second period.
So the first one, I don't know what Mikko Rantanen's doing,
Just
defending Jamie Alexiak on the
actively
like
gets out
that.
of the way. Like,
his whole body, and he positions himself to seal off the wall so Alexiak can't go down the wall.
Alexiev's not on
Why
the wall.
would you not let him do that? That is actively every step he takes towards the goal line on the wall is reducing the chance that this turns into a scoring chance for you. Why would you do this? Why do you want him doing that?
Yep.
And so instead, he makes a hard cut back to the middle. And if there's one thing offensively Jamie Alexiak could do, it's score goals.
On the backhand, apparently.
And it's a really nice backhand. I would really prefer Georgiev. This is the one save for me that I'd probably ask.
Get that glove up, son.
Yeah, I would. The one that I would really say I want that save is this one. But I mean, you're talking about Jamie Alexiak cutting back into the middle and makes a nice shot with the backhand. And we know backhand is the hardest shot for a goaltender to read. Most guys just aren't very good at it, but this was a pretty good one. And I don't know. I just didn't think my problem here is Mikko. It's so bad.
I think it was for a player like Rantanen too, who has the mobility and speed to allow Alexiak to get around him in that way is tough. And I think it starts with the forwards on the ice misreading and assuming that MacKinnon was going to win the battle that he didn't, and they were up too high, Rantanen included. So he sort of panicked and misread where he needed to be in getting back to confront Alexiak. And I think that led to problems because a lot of people were too high. Georgiev wasn't really. There wasn't a lot of traffic in front of him either, and that's why I understand wanting him to have this goal too. You have Makar at the net front, not screening Georgiev. Rantanen really not where he should be allowing Alexiak to just get through the slot. And so for that reason, I understand maybe the criticism of Georgiev here, but it's a little bit shared around a lot of people, Rantanen included in that situation.
Yeah, absolutely.
The part of it with Rantanen that's frustrating is, like you said, he absolutely has the skill and ability to make a better play there. And it's all up here. It's the mental mistakes that are killing Colorado. And you have that issue, and you go, well, that's bad. The Avs are still 3-2. They're still winning on the scoreboard. And then immediately you go down back into your own zone, and I get there's a little bit of a puck battle going on there for Devon Taves, but he just whips the puck right into his own slot.
Yeah.
And it's not like nearly as direct as the one he did in game 1.
No.
but it's still bad.
McCann plays some role in this.
For sure. But it doesn't take away the fact that Devontae just can't keep doing that. It has to be a safer play coming out of him.
I mean, you can't make that play, and then I'm not sure what Newhook's looking at. I'm not sure.
For sure. He doesn't set himself well in that play.
You know, he is responsible for the puck being behind the net to begin with, and then just loses his man in front of the net, and it's like, this is, you remember the Byram overtime against Edmonton, we talked about young players compounding mistakes. And I think that's just what we saw there with Newhook, where it's back-to-back, very quick. Because in real time, it's 3 seconds apart? 4 seconds apart, something like that? Like, these things happen very, very quickly, and he just compounds mistakes. And the first mistake isn't great. It gets worse when Taves makes the play that he does. And then it's on Newhook to be the last line of defense
to bail
there.
that out.
Because you're really not asking a goaltender who can't see that puck.
Yeah.
Coming from behind his net like that to track that and
to the most dangerous area.
Exactly. That is one of the, I would say that's maybe the most dangerous passing play in hockey. Going from behind the net where the guy, he's not, goalie's not aggressive. They're tucked in. They're playing that angle. They're, and it's just a bad spot to be in, and you see the result of it.
And this is the fear, right? Whether it's Seattle or if the Avs do make it to round 2, whoever they're playing then.
Yeah.
It's something that we've seen consistently enough over the years.
Yeah.
Is these very short windows where Colorado just completely falls apart.
Yeah. I mean, you talk about both the two different Ducks games. They have 3-0 and 2-0 leads, and one of them turns into a 5-3 loss, and one of them ends up in a wild-ass overtime win. But you're talking about blowing leads to the freaking Ducks.
Yep.
You have a 2-goal lead in Vancouver. 4 minutes go by. You have a bad 4 minutes. You give up 3 goals.
You're
you lose that
down
game 3-2.
Yeah.
And you talk about their lows. When you talk about what are you most concerned about with the Avs, is that when their level drops, it drops really fast, and it drops a lot.
Yep.
Now, what you do like is that from that bad 20 seconds,
they were great after that.
They picked it immediately back up and did not allow Seattle to build momentum off of that. And you were worried about it. It's 2-2. You take a penalty. You're on a PK again. You're trying to figure all this out, and you don't let them build anything off of it. We had 19 great seconds. We had quick strike, boom, and that was it. And you're looking like that's the bulk of their offense in this game, because you have to go out in a third period then in a 3-3 environment and get back to work and create. We saw one team, we saw the experienced team, the mature team, drop the hammer, and the other team not know how to handle that moment.
I think this is where this is a strength for the Avs really becomes evident, because even following this horrific 19-second sequence, they take a too many men penalty that is a little bit iffy, that they're not quite sure on, and they weather that storm.
Yep.
And then they continue to have an opening in the third period that is so strong and significant. It, I wouldn't say changes the course of this game, because I think the Avs were building towards this all along, but it doesn't allow them to get too caught up in what could be a deflating moment because of that 19-second sequence.
Yep. And, how much do you want to attribute to that? The experience, they've been there before. How much do you want to contribute that to the confidence in this team that they're the 1 seed, they're the better hockey team, whatever. I'm not going to divide it up percentage by percentage point, but
and the Alexiak goal you can look at and not even just say this is a major mistake. It is from Mikko.
Yep.
But also Alexiak plays a role in that. He outplays
Makes
Mikko
a great
Rantanen.
play. Yeah.
The other one is, once again, you are handing a goal to the Seattle Kraken.
Yep.
You've just given it to them. Here you go. Literally, here's a puck in front of the net. Oh, you skated into it and shot it and scored. Playoff hockey is harder than that. It is harder to earn goals than that. And once again, the Avs just hand them another one. No, they obviously survived that. But
given the result, you feel a lot better about it.
But you don't love that trend has once again continued.
Yeah.
And that it is essentially the only thing that has kept Seattle in this series.
You're not wrong.
Is the Avs have just given them offense. Because when Seattle's had to work for it and Colorado hasn't shot itself in the foot, they have not been great. They have been anemic.
Well, in real life, oftentimes, whoever your opponent is isn't just going to give you what you want. If they shot you in the foot, call Bacchus and Schenker at 222-2222. You can get over there today. You can also go to coloradolaw.net. They will give a free consultation no matter what. And if they think you have a case, they will take your case on for completely free to get you what you deserve, whether it's an injury from a car accident, even if you weren't driving, like a rideshare situation, or if you were biking down the road, things like that. If you were injured at work, they can also help with things in that nature. So go take a look. Go to coloradolaw.net or press 2 for a while. Check these guys out. They've won over $1 billion for their clients over 25 years now that they've been doing it in Colorado. So they're pretty experienced. We'll put it that way. They've been through a few playoffs for sure over at Bacchus and Schenker. Again, just press 2 for a while or go over to colorado.net, coloradolaw.net. Got there. To check out Bacchus and Schenker. And then we're also brought to you by Fubo TV. Did you want to watch the Avs tonight? Yeah, the Tampa Bay game went into overtime. Tough. But with Fubo, you can get altitude. You can watch the game from puck drop. You don't have any of those problems that the national audience might run into. You can go to FuboTV.com/DNVR or use the QR code right there on your screen. You get 15% off your first month of Fubo Pro when you order with the DNVR code. Look, it's not just the sports, although, let's be honest, that's what we would all use Fubo for, is the sports. They also have 140 channels. So if you want shows, if you want movies.
Every time I've opened it up, they're like, would you like to watch this movie that's live right now? And I'm like, no, I'm good, but thank you.
I would like to watch sports, though.
It is a great suggestion. Please stop suggesting soccer to me.
Well, you're here for what you're here for. So go check it out again, FuboTV.com/DNVR to get hooked up today. Third period of the DNVR Avalanche Podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Third period of this game.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Mike just dropped.
Let's not make any mistakes about it. Megan, you kind of alluded to it. Sure, they gave up those 2 goals. It went 3-3, but they still played well at the end of the second period. And then they come out in the third period and win the hockey game, essentially. Nathan MacKinnon is on another level when he's doing stuff like that on the 4th goal.
It's the 5th goal.
Is it the 5th?
It is.
Oh, Mikko scored the 4th.
Yeah, it's what you love.
Messed him up.
What you love about Devon Taves, once again, though, is that you don't love the mistake in the second period, but you love he gets out into that rush, leads the rush, all right, and he wins the board. He wins the battle with Jaden Schwartz. I thought Jaden Schwartz had it. The way that he whipped around, I thought he was trying to shoot.
Nope.
And he just doesn't have the puck, and Devon Taves is skating away from him, and Jaden Schwartz is like, I have no friends. And Devon Taves leads the rush, gets out ahead of it.
Gets the puck into the zone.
He gets ahead of Mikko so that when he passes it back across the ice, Mikko is skating into it.
Yep.
Because otherwise, if you're parallel like that, if they're even on the ice, trying to make that pass through defensive sticks is very, very hard to do. So he's a couple steps ahead, which is where he needs to be. And so he makes that pass through it, and Mikko is able to skate into the one-timer, which gives him a better chance to do something with it, which is what we see.
I love Matt Nieto's role in this because Taves wins that battle and creates this transition up ice. Nieto sort of distracts 2 skaters in front of this play to create more time and space for Rantanen to be the recipient of the Taves pass. And he's a much better recipient for it than Nieto. Like, if I'm for Seattle, I'm looking at these 2, and the one that should pose the more serious threat is Rantanen over Nieto. But instead, Nieto very distracts them. And I thought that was really nice.
Well, and you need to, where you're talking about creating that space, you need to have that guy, that other guy that They have to
respect for whatever reason.
Obviously, if you're looking at the numbers, you're like, that guy scares the shit out of me, and that guy's Matt Nieto. But you're looking at it and you're saying we need to mark them.
Yep.
We need to respect it, because if all 4 guys go to Mikko Rantanen on the back check,
Matt Nieto's wide open.
Matt Nieto's going to pose quite a bit of threat there.
Still a threat.
And
exactly.
so it creates that extra space. It does create all the gaps, all the spacing, and it's perfect execution by Colorado. Like, that's going up the ice. It's not that dangerous of a play.
Yep.
It's a, you can see where it would finish, and it's exactly what happens is what they're trying to create. But Seattle defends it about as well as you really want to.
Yeah.
You'd probably like to see a stick in that lane, but also it's very hindsighty to be like, oh, well, you maybe should have had a stick in the passing lane on the game-winning goal, you know?
Technically not the game-winning goal.
So I guess it's true, yeah. That last goal was going to mess me up. I'm going to write 7-3 or 6-3 all night.
This is Mikko Rantanen, right?
Yeah. The classic.
Vintage.
The duality of
Yeah,
Rantanen.
exactly.
I texted Jesse at intermission and said, what the hell is this Rantanen performance? And then put ... so far, knowing that he does this. He shows up. He's terrible for 2 periods. And then he goes out
and just wins hockey games.
We were
yeah.
legitimately having a conversation of, oh, is he just going to have a 3rd period hat trick? Like,
pretty close. This is a lot of the other side of what we talked about in our previews of this series.
yeah.
When Nathan MacKinnon and Mikko Rantanen show up, let alone Cale Makar, it's tough out here for Seattle.
Yeah, and you do look at what is the difference with the Mikko? He's been bad all game long. He's not looking good. He's just not imposing as well. He's not the Moose. He gets one open look,
And it's in the back of your net. Yeah.
and it's 4-3. And you're just like, and now you're back to chasing the game. You've done all this work. You had the lightning strike. You came back. The crowd is back into it. You're once again tied going into a 3rd period, saying there's no way they're going to beat us in this situation 2 games in a row.
And
You blinked, and Mikko Rantanen's like, bitch, what? And then Nathan MacKinnon with the exclamation point and the actual game-winning goal.
Twirling, whirling, running through people. For
It's-
not even mentioning Cale Makar just slipping a dude.
Yeah, it's a
Like,
tremendous Nathan MacKinnon shift where you just watch him and you're like, when we talk about why the Avalanche have an advantage in the series, it's because they have high-end talent that can do special things. And when it comes to winning a Stanley Cup, are they going to need JT Compher? And are they going to need Evan Rodriguez? And are they going to need a Lars Eller to score eventually? They're going to need all of that has to happen if they're going to make a deep run. But in one night, in one
you're in a
120-second
4-3
block,
game. You need a critical goal. You're going to McKinnon.
You're talking
Like,
about this guy just gets the puck and just decides he's better.
Yep.
And all night you feel it. He's already got a breakaway goal. Mm-hmm. You'd been feeling it. You'd been feeling it up to that moment that there's more from MacKinnon to give. That he's just going to continue. And then one unbelievable shift where you see him spin past a guy. You see him run another guy over who steps to him. And he runs into him and just keeps on going, keeps the puck, and then with a brilliant finish. I mean, it's
all world.
it's so
all world.
high level. You're talking about it, and you're like, if you're Seattle, if that goal happens to the Avalanche, you're throwing your hands up going, that guy just dominated you. That guy just made a better play than your whole team did.
Yep.
And that's what it comes down to. That Nathan MacKinnon just made a special play. And then it was 5-3. You're 4 minutes and 29 seconds into the 3rd period. In the same amount of time it takes to go through a Starbucks drive-thru, you went from a tie hockey game and thinking you could steal this thing to now you're down by 2 to the defending champs.
Yep.
That fast. Bam!
Life comes at you fast, as they say.
And that's where you talk though about being comfortable in a game.
Yeah,
The emotional
for sure.
maturity, the experience of this. That 19 seconds could have melted down the Avalanche. Instead, it didn't. They reset. We talked about they didn't allow anything to build after that. but they pushed reset. They come out in the third period, and they just get it done. And 4:29 into it, now you're protecting a 2-goal lead again. You just go back to playing smart third-period hockey from there.
Definitely. I do want to talk about that in a second, but just to go back to the been there factor in this game. I've never been a huge fan of thinking that experience makes like all the difference in the world.
Totally.
But it does matter. And you look at game 2, where Seattle's up 2, they blow a 2-goal lead, and then in the third period, the Avs come out, be the better team, get the win. Tonight, the Avs blow a 2-goal lead. They go out in the third period, are the better team, get the win. Just that steady level that Colorado can be at mentally. Is that just in their DNA now, Megan, or how do they get to that point?
It's one of those things that doesn't exactly come easily to them because we've seen at points in the regular season this year that they were still going back to that part of their identity. I wouldn't say that it was lost. It was just maybe more distant. And it definitely returns and stays around in the playoffs because it demands it, truthfully. The circumstances of the playoffs truly does. And it's why, too, like in looking at Rantanen, I would say his performance so far has been a little bit, I'm not sure the word I'm looking for. It's been a little bit streakier than we're used to seeing because throughout the regular season, he was the driver of this team.
Absolutely.
So I even think that he's someone who sheds a little bit of that inconsistency and leans back into the Rantanen that we've seen all season long, that in a way that Seattle should be scared about. But in talking about experience specifically, I think it does matter because it's mattered for Seattle too. I think it is the experienced players who have the playoff experience. I want to say Jaden Schwartz was on the St. Louis team the year they won the Cup.
So is Vince Dunn.
Vince Dunn as well. I don't know if Vince Dunn has had that same kind of impact in this series the way that I think a Jaden Schwartz type has. And I see it in tonight's game where this argument is being made on either side that the experience matters. And I think that Schwartz is an example of it for Seattle, but the Avs have a lot of examples of it.
I would also say, getting into the Vince Dunn thing, that is a guy who was on their top pairing next to Adam Larson all year long. And when you're talking about trying to contain Colorado stars, it starts with him. It's Vince Dunn and Adam Larson. It's on those guys.
Definitely.
And Vince Dunn got the shit kicked out of him tonight.
Yep.
There isn't a polite way to put it. He got absolutely dominated by Colorado's best players. They took advantage of him and made him look bad. Like, that's a good hockey player who had a career year, who looks bad. The last 2 games, bad. Not like middling.
Bad,
Like, we're talking like Edmonton's going to trade for him at the deadline next year, and he's going to be their big addition.
Because he's bad.
This is Matthias Ekholm 2.0. Bad. They're embarrassing Vince Dunn right now.
It's not good.
Through the last 5 periods, it's been so thoroughly dominant against Vince Dunn. Kale McCarr and Bowen Byram as a pairing
doing just
are
fine.
shredding Seattle since they got put together at the start of game 2. And they had a free period to build some numbers up. And you go and look at the numbers, and they're still bad. Like, the Avs, they're just better. And you saw it tonight where the self-inflicted mistakes and all this other stuff, and it just didn't matter. The more talented team tilted the ice, consistently created more chances, finished more chances, did more.
Very quickly, and then we get into super chats here. AJ, I know you talked about it on the watch along a little bit. Avs did kind of go full suppression mode after getting up 5-3.
Yeah.
Now, they got the job done, so
And they were doing fine.
It.
They weren't under siege. The goalie gets pulled, and you're just kind of like, okay. And it's through 2 games now. You've been in situations with the goaltender pulled, and you haven't felt in danger 1 second. Not 1 second of that time have you felt like, oh God, they're playing with a lot of energy right now. There's a lot of momentum building. It just hasn't been there.
Yep.
This is the thing about the Seattle Kraken, is that when they have to chase the game, they are not good enough to do it. They just are not built for that. They don't have the superstar. Jared McCann has a 40-goal season this year and has been irrelevant in this series. Matty Beniers scores the second of the 2 goals in 19 seconds, and it is the only thing he has done in the series.
His only impact.
And that guy's going to win the Calder.
Deservedly.
Yeah. Like, you could see this is a team They need Oliver Bjorkstrand to wake up. They need Andre Burakovsky to magically get healthy. Because that's what Berkey does on this team, is that he is a guy that could just do it for them. And they just don't have the guys for that. All these guys with 10-goal seasons and shit, great. That's what makes them effective. That's what makes them hard to play against top to bottom. But when you are talking about you are down 2 goals,
you need a
you
goal.
have pulled the goaltender in the final 2 minutes, who do you throw on the ice that you have confidence is going to be able to stem the tide of what is now a 2-game long ass kicking by Colorado's best players, who will be on the ice against you?
Yep.
Who stems that tide? There isn't anybody. They have to get out in front. They have to play in front. They have to protect the lead and go that way. They are not going to come back. If they have to play from behind against the Avalanche in this series, the series will end soon.
I don't disagree. Megan, are you confident that the series is headed that way?
Like 5 games, it's done?
I'll leave it open. Where do you think it's headed?
I mean, I still think it's headed in a direction that favors Colorado.
Okay.
I even, at a lot of points in this game, didn't doubt Colorado.
For sure.
I feel very good about it for all the reasons we're talking about: experience, star talent, stepping up. And because even in a game that doesn't have Val Nichushkin, will never have Gabriel Landeskog. This is still a team with a lot of things to be excited about. But I do think Seattle is still competitive. And where they want to capitalize is early in games. And so that's when to be most fearful of them too, that will still continue to pose a threat. But like we talked about in the pregame, the Avs have the advantage late in games in terms of response and what they have left in their tank to give. And I still believe that to be true. So I still think it favors Colorado, but I could see Seattle making this a little difficult on the Avs, stretching it to maybe the 6-game mark.
It's still a good hockey team over there. They're still 1 through 12, 1 through 6 defensively. That's still a quality hockey team. It's not going to be tie games going into the third periods of each game 2 and 3. So Colorado's best players have certainly decided tonight, and have picked it up in a big way here. But I mean, this is not Nashville of last season.
No,
this is a team that belongs on this stage.
Yep. Okay. Do we care at all about the power play goal that the Avs give up at the end of this game?
My answer is absolutely
No.
not.
No.
No.
Okay. I don't care. I'll tell you that for sure. Let's get to some of these super chats. Quite a few of you tonight. We appreciate it a ton. Y'all are extremely generous. $10 from Logan, who says, good win for the Avs. Thought it was weird how I blacked out for 30 seconds in the middle. Fun games all day, but glad Avs bucked the OT trend. My heart is not ready for that yet.
I would agree.
Is your heart ever ready for it? I mean,
I think there are times where you're geared up for it, but I'm not. Seattle's gotten a lot of really little things, like weird little things
that have bounced their way.
Yeah, that have really gone their way a lot in the series, and it's. I don't want to see an OT game decided by
something stupid.
Yeah, a referee toe picks, the puck goes off his visor and lands on a guy's stick and creates an odd man rush. Some weird shit. Hard pass. I'm not ready.
$5 from Melanie, who says, a few breakdowns, but otherwise a good game. Go Avalanche. Thanks for the post-game content. I always look forward to it. Thank you very much, Melanie. Regular here at this point.
Yeah, all love.
$5 from Kyle, who says, had no idea Seattle was top 4 goals for this season. Their forecheck and seemingly ease of scoring doesn't sting as bad anymore. Yeah, they're a good team.
They're just an opportunistic team.
Very much
that
so.
Finishes way above the quality of chances they create.
And
we're seeing exactly that in this series.
Yep. Almost to a T. Incredibly generous from Cody here with $55. That's crazy amounts of money. Can we get a high five for fishnets? Love y'all. Love Discord and go Avs. Our Discord has started calling them the Avs with an E. It's very strange.
They've got to stop.
Yeah. Not about it.
I'm going to go home. I'm going to word search, and anybody doing it on purpose is just going to start getting timeouts.
AJ's going to go on a spree out here.
That's right. That bandhammer's about to get blood all over it.
Like Morgan Riley's jersey tonight, or what?
Yeah, exactly. Just a bloody nose, not like a scary bloody.
Sure. $2 from Kevin, who says the Mac attack with 2 goals. It almost feels like an inevitability in series with the Avalanche. Is
Yep.
that Nathan MacKinnon is always coming. He's going to get there one way or another.
He's inevitable, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He is Thanos.
Hate
That's
it,
exactly
run
what
from
it
it.
is.
Nathan MacKinnon still comes. Yeah, we don't have a Roman read, all right? We're not going there. $2 from Miss Truly, who says, happy to see Compher step up. AJ is a fashion icon.
Yeah.
He's got the palm tree shirt on tonight.
Palm trees today, yeah.
Rocking it. Worked out. Look, and it does go maybe a little bit unappreciated tonight. That's a huge goal from JT Compher.
So big.
You're
Easy to get lost in everything else,
Right.
but what a play by him.
staring
Yeah.
and sure, good things happen for him.
Yeah,
but
he got lucky that it was a breakaway, but
you're in a situation where the odds are more likely that you're down 2-0 in this game than 1-1 coming
Right.
out of that.
It was
thing.
important
So,
to neutralize that
yeah.
first goal against
Exactly.
early.
So it is a huge one.
talking about like, oh, is the first period good or bad? They led 2-1.
Yeah. It really it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it really
As a
wasn't. It really
whole,
wasn't.
like-
It really wasn't.
550 from Ryan, who says, Rudo, absolute legendary host. AJ, one of the best hockey minds out there. Megan, the GOAT. DNVR, best in the biz. Much love from Lethbridge. You got to watch, I guess, the end of
Thank
Nick
you,
Henry's
Ryan.
career.
Yeah,
What?
junior career.
Junior career.
Yeah, before he went pro.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, I'm not taking a shot at Nick
No, I'm
Henry.
not.
I know. I thought we were.
Dude, I
Taking
love
shots
Nick
at
Henry, for the
No.
record. I love Nick Henry.
I did too. I was a big fan.
13-13 from Ryan. For having Nichushkin out there in spirit, we missed out there, man.
Yeah, he is a really, really big part of this, and it's going to be hard to win other games without him.
And
Whatever
personal
length-
reasons, whatever
yeah.
that means. Yeah.
However long this is, whatever is going on, I mean, we don't know, but that is a major, major, major loss.
Yeah. He's going to matter a lot in these playoffs if they can get him back. So, $20 from Greg, who says, second win, some big goals, couple breakdowns, but overall, calamari making machines tonight.
Cute.
I don't get that reference, but
I think it's just the Kraken.
Yeah.
The little
Oh,
monster.
okay, all right. I'm just dumb. Got it.
Food that you eat from the sea.
Makes sense. $5 from Tommy, who says, you see it in spurts this series. No one will outwant work the Avs when they have the switch turned on. I mean, I don't think there's really ever been any doubt about their willingness,
Yeah.
the effort level to work for it.
Yeah.
But you can see that the Avs aren't going to be fumbling pucks and missing everybody every night, you know?
Yeah, when they played so poorly in game one, it was like, come on, guys. Are we suddenly going to pretend like this is just the normal like,
Who are you people?
yeah. Well, and like, and then period one in game two where you're like, what is this? And then since then, you've had 5 periods of the Avalanche that you're very familiar with. And boy, have they been good in those 5 periods in which they've won 2 games.
They've outscored their opponent 9-4 in those 5 periods. So, $2.20 from Wolf, who says, "How big is MacKinnon's hog? Probably huge. If I get a hog, I'll name him MacKinnon.
I was gonna say, does he have livestock?
Hogs? Yeah,
I wish
right.
he had like a little teacup pig.
the little tiny pig.
That would be. I could see him
could see
appreciating the chaos.
The just absolute madness.
Yeah, of just this tiny feral pig, like just barnstorming around his condo or whatever. Yeah, no, I'm all about that. That's a wonderful idea.
He has Kale Makar over, and Makar's like, "Bro, I gotta go. I cannot
Yeah,
handle this pig.
This thing is so
I cannot
annoying.
handle this pig.
He probably named it Kale.
I could see him naming it Kale.
Perfect." Oh God.
Don't please.
$10 from Paper Dolls, who says, "Love to see Nate figure out the Seattle guys who've been triple covering him lately. Also, Lars Eller rocks." Well, you would think that.
She's correct.
As a Canadiens fan, yes, she of course would be very pro Lars Eller.
Thank you very much. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I love the call out too about what Nate's been able to do with a Seattle team that is specifically dispatched to handle him, and he has still found ways around it.
Oh, also happy late birthday.
Love that. Our
Dang.
Taurus queen.
Call outs all over the place. $20 from Jim, who says, love this team. Just think we are up 2-1 and still due for a hot start to a game. Mac is the best player in the league. Makar is Gen Z Bobby Orr. LFG.
This is the worst TikTok narrator of all time.
Hey, he put it in all caps, okay?
I understand what's happening. I just...
I'm not doing that if the rest of you put all caps. It's not happening again. I won't.
Thank God. It's so true, though. Bobby Orr 2.0.
Here for it.
He's just that good.
Yep. $5 more from Paper Dolls, who says, I was an Ellerhead since day one of the trade. Just saying.
Yeah, oh, covered. Yes.
Prove it.
How? $20 from the incredible Drew, who's always here. 2 down, 2 to go. Would be nice if they could just make life easy, but I'll take it. Wish I lived there so I could be at the bar for games. LFG, ladies and
2 goals in the
gents.
first 4.5 minutes of the third period. I mean, it really wasn't too stressful here.
I mean, they made it harder than it had to be.
For sure. But I mean, Seattle's pretty good, too.
Yeah, it's true. And finally, $5 from Candlejack isn't even real. Late to the game, but good win. I'm here for it. Now to head to bed. Get some sleep, Avs faithful. You should really end all of your super chats just without finishing the sentence, given your name.
True. That'd be a great bit.
Yeah.
See if we ever caught on.
I feel like with his name, I'd catch on pretty quick, but you never know. And then a late one here from the Nuggets chat legend.
Yo, the
Laking
homie
Ball.
hater. Yes.
Resident Bruins fan, DNVR homie hater. So
See?
why did no one tell me the Avs are actually good? Just kidding. And that Nathan goal, speed, damn.
Too true. Go Panthers.
I have no faith in the Panthers.
No, of course not.
Absolutely
but
none.
Also, if you're going to be the homie hater, I mean, we just got to, this is our relationship.
If you're
it's
the-
antagonistic.
I can never hate Jim Montgomery.
Oh, totally.
Look, homie haters get hate from the homies. All right, it's just
You'll never find me hating on anything that Hampus Lindholm does ever in the world.
But then they still have Brad Marchand, so it balances out.
Go Panthers.
I'm good here. Anything else you two wanted to touch on from this game?
So good.
All right, we're gonna get out of here. The Avs have the series lead. It comes back around on Monday, where the Avs can either take the vice grip or we got a big boy series on our hand if they can take that one. Super late. Super chat from Sean here, $5. Hope Val gets back soon and his family is all right. Huge dub tonight, and let's sweep the T-Pups tomorrow night.
T-Wolves.
Oh, okay.
The Nuggets.
Talk about the Nuggets.
Yep.
Okay.
There are other sports.
No, are there? I'm
I
not
forgot.
convinced.
My first inclination is I was like, the Eagles already swept, so I'm not sure where this
I've
is.
watched like
but-
8 hours of hockey every day for the last 6
Right,
days.
there
So
are no other sports.
Sorry, I stick to the Nuggets when the Nuggets play.
must be nice.
I'm there with it.
We appreciate y'all. We are off tomorrow, and we will talk to you on Monday.